Good evening, friends. Thanks a lot for joining me. Apologies, we couldn't keep the date at 8:30 p.m. I had some personal work plus some data analysis, so obviously took a bit longer. So we are now doing it at 9 o'clock. First of all, must say that we got our morning prognosis slightly wrong in a sense that one thing which I warned was that don't chase the gap up, wait for the first 45 minutes to 60 minutes, and then see if the market is willing to take out the highs. Then perhaps the market wants to go higher. That didn't happen, so that way it was okay. But the fact that the market sold off so brutally is something which I should have alerted. And like some of you pointed out, I take that point. It's just that I was not too confident about saying that it's a market which has all of a sudden become a sell market, uh, because my sense was that at some point the market would have resolved itself on the upside, but that didn't happen. But anyway, important lesson learned, that the market gap up failed, and at that point perhaps short trade would have opened. But anyway, as you would have seen through the day, it's only post 2 p.m. that the selling really intensified. Up until that, the market was doing yo-yoing. Especially the Nifty was up quite a bit. Now, you know what? I think just want to make a point. I am absolutely, totally clueless about tomorrow's trade. Looking at the data, absolutely, and I have no shame in admitting that. I think tomorrow, once again, the market could go really all over the place. I think this is a market in which you want to stay safe, you want to stay nimble, you want to trade very low volumes if you are a compulsive trader. I mean, just look at some of these internals which I'm studying right now. On a day like today, when the market slipped so much from the highest point, the Bank Nifty almost 800 points, the Nifty slipped almost 200 points from the highest point, the FI is actually bought in today's trade. If you look at the cash market number, there's a bit of a buying of about 500 crores, though DI is sold. And interestingly, the FI data in F&O is actually not too bad. If you take a look at the index futures, they've bought about 800 crores. And if you take a look at the file, the participant-wise open interest file, they've actually added 3,000 longs and they've covered 8,400 shorts. And there's been some put writing as well, though there's been some call writing as well, some put writing as well. So the data is not as bad as the market was today. That for me is creating my biggest confusion. Having said that, one thing which has become abundantly clear now is that the Bank Nifty has got itself a bit of a problem. And the Bank Nifty, if the market has to go up, it can't go up only on Reliance. It has to get some support. So today IT did well in terms of the bigger sectors, but really the Bank Nifty's got to participate, and if Bank Nifty is not participating, then I think the market's got a bit of a problem here. I think also the big problem was that the Bank Nifty decline today was on account of mainly ICICI Bank, and to a certain extent even towards the end, Kotak, HDFC Bank also joined in. So I think that's not creating a good sign. As I said, we go by data, and the data for today is very interesting. Let's first look at the Nifty data, and then we'll go to the Bank Nifty data. On the Nifty today, we had an outside day. What is an outside day? When the high is higher than the previous day and low is lower than the previous day. So the high was 9440, which is about 60 points higher than previous day's high. Low was 9219, which is about 19 points lower than previous day's uh, low. And on top of that, we had a flat close on the Nifty. Now, that is an indicator or a precursor of a violent move on the market. We all know that there's going to be some violence in this market because nobody is able to figure out the equilibrium in this market. So, in that sense, I think tomorrow we should be prepared for one more round of whipsawing. By the way, by the time the market closed, the global cues had started to turn a little bit. Asian cues, when we were trading, were very strong, but towards the end, a couple of markets actually closed at the lows, like Kospi, I think. Kospi, of course, had its own worries about second round of coronavirus infection. But Europe was well and comfortably in the red, and Dow futures were in the red. And as we speak, Dow is down right now, not by much, and things can change over the next few hours. Now, my worry about this market is very simple. Uh, this is a market in which you'll remember the two levels that I have defined now. Two levels which are lines in sand: 9116 on the way down and 9533 on the way up. Basically, the series low and series high. Okay, and at the open today, we were right in the middle of that, right in the middle. So it's very tough to have a stop loss in this kind of market. You could have a 200-point stop loss; it could trigger, and the trade after that may still work in your direction. So that's why the only thing you can do perhaps is to sell as close as you can to 95.33 with 95.33 there about a stop, or buy as close to 91.16 with 91.16 a stop, give or take 50 or 60 points, or wait for these levels to go and then take decisively go and then take a directional trade in that direction. But you know what? It's easier said than done. I know that. So it's going to be a tough market to trade. It's going to be a very tough market to trade, and I have my sympathy for the traders. I mean, I will do my best to make sure that I give my best to you. But there will be days like today when you will really not be able to put finger to what went wrong, or what didn't go right. So just to reiterate a couple of more points, there are few stocks which have become sell and rally stocks. Clearly, the large banks, ICICI, IndusInd, Axis, they are clearly now sell on rally. Kotak has started to turn quite a bit. In fact, Kotak is my big worry, because you'll remember Kotak was an outperforming stock, but all of a sudden this month it's fallen about 12%. ICICI Bank this month has fallen 15%. Access this month has fallen 15%. HDFC has fallen 13% this month. Bajaj Finance has fallen 13%. If you take a look at the top losers, it's mostly financials among the stocks that matter anyway. And yes, there's Titan as well, but you get the gist. The market is being held up by Reliance. Reliance was up 7% even today as well. And what's my other worry is that perhaps even the Reliance buying might reach some kind of near-term conclusion with this rights issue. So tomorrow is the last day when you if you buy, you get to participate in the rights. But let us see if there's some profit taking in Reliance as well, because market can't afford that. The market's already down so much. So let's see. Now, the worry clearly is that this is a sell on rally market or sell on big rally market, but is this also a buy on dips market? I think we'll find that out. But for 2 days, what's very clear is that big gap ups are getting sold into, especially on the Bank Nifty. So that is your clear data point. And also, I think if you see the FII file in that, I mean, we don't get separate data for Nifty and Bank Nifty. If we got, perhaps this analysis would have been even sharper or even more precise. But now that we don't have that, there would be some mix of Nifty and Bank Nifty which we are not able to decipher, and hence that dichotomy is always going to be there on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. I'm still trying to figure out how to read comments here live and give reply. I mean, just because that will make things much easier. I want to reply to some of your queries, but I'm not able to see it here. I mean, I will try. Still fairly new to this, so I will try. Okay, one more thing. The market breadth. All through April, the market breadth has been favoring declines, which is not what you were seeing in April, all through May. In April, all through April, the advance decline was favoring advances. Now, that is not the case. So that's also telling you that perhaps the texture of the market is slightly on the weak side. So we'll just you know keep an eye on that as well. What else? Well, if you take a look at the future screen today, it was not too bad actually. I mean, if in terms of the top volumes, uh, the top volume stocks today, just looking at all of them, barring an SBI and an ICICI Bank, a lot of them were actually gaining. So let's see. Also, one more thing is that what's happening in the debt market. I think that's also creating a bit of an uncertainty. If you see a lot of bonds, especially for PNB, etc., they are trading at a very high yield, which is not giving comforting signal. So I think this market has to resolve itself through financials, because regardless of what you might say about financials weight having come down in the index, financials still contribute a large part or lion's share of this market cannot bottom out unless Bank Nifty bottoms out. That I think is very important. And on the Bank Nifty, I think if I'm not wrong, let me just see today's data and confirm it as well. The Bank Nifty low today was 18,900, right? 18,900.9. That's the fresh series low. So on the Nifty, we may not have broken the series low, but on the Bank Nifty, we have broken the series low. So that way on Bank Nifty, I think this is the zone. You really got to defend this 18,800, 18,900. Otherwise, we're looking at some serious problem as far as Bank Nifty is concerned. This month, the Bank Nifty is down 12%. So in just about 10 or 11, it's not even 10 or 11 trading days. In about 7 or 8 trading days, it's practically given up almost all of that April rally, or most of that April rally. The April rally took Bank Nifty from 19,144 to 21,534, and we are back to 18,950. Yes, so it's the entire April rally has been given up by the Bank Nifty in just few days. That's the kind of decline that we have seen on the Bank Nifty. And if you see the chart of the Bank Nifty, I think you will see that I don't want to say this, but it's not giving you a comforting signal. It's looking like a move towards 17,250 perhaps is possible on the Bank Nifty if you're not able to defend this zone over the next few days. And every day, if you see the high on the Bank Nifty is also the 20-day moving average. So there's a technical and classical 20 DMA halt as well. So sum in substance, it's the Bank Nifty which is the problem. That needs to resolve itself. Unless that happens, I think Reliance, a couple of other stocks may do their bit, but they will not be able to take the Nifty past this 95.33 and back towards the 10,000 zone. Now, having said that, I once again repeat, this market on the Nifty is about battle between 91.16 and 95.33. Let's see which side wins. Thanks a lot. Good night. See you tomorrow.